Hello, Joseph Lopy.
Hello, Valeria, and hi, everyone.
How's it going this morning, Joseph?
Very well by the grace of God, hoping you are well.
It's going well.
Thanks. We're very eager to know, Joseph, how exactly did your incredible journey in the football world start?
So, yeah, that goes back a bit. Let's say it probably started when I was 9 years old. I used to play back home in Senegal, but just in front of my house because I didn't really like soccer. So I just did it in front of my house with my uncle to have fun, to pass the time. It was once I started playing in elementary school. Well, I started playing, not really, but there was a game one day, and my class was missing a player. So, the teacher at the time, he tells me, go fill in, they're missing a player. No, I don't feel like playing. Yes, yes, you're going to play. Fine. And while playing, it was him. He actually saw that I was good, that I was a bit better than the others. He came to me and said, want to play soccer? I said, no, I don't want to. I wasn't comparing myself to anyone. I didn't know if I was good or not. I was just normal. So, it started basically like that.
When did you start liking soccer? Tell us, it happened over time, right?
Yeah, it happened once I was at the training center at 13 because after that, he passed by my house once and ran into my mom. He told her, but doesn't your son go to soccer school? She told him no, he doesn't want to. And my mom asks me, are you sure you don't want to go? I kinda did, but you know. That time was tough financially, and I knew I had to pay for soccer school, and I was the oldest in the family. I saw my mom was struggling a bit, so I didn't want her to spend money on things like that, so I told her no. But a mom knows her son. She saw in me that I kind of wanted to anyway. So she must have put in a bit of money herself without actually telling me. Then I had to go there. I started going to soccer school. 3 months later, there were tryouts to integrate the training center at Diambar. And I followed the course with the trials. There were 16,000 young Senegalese. It's 92 when we did the trials. I was lucky to be one of the 16 to 17 who made into the training center.
So your mom, ultimately, sacrificed of herself to let you attend this soccer school. Have you also, today, Joseph Lopy, had to make sacrifices?
I think honestly, we've all done it, each in our own way. But yeah, definitely, because just for the soccer school, when I started in the beginning, she gave me a bit of money to take the bus to get there because it was a bit far. And at the beginning, there must have been 9 kids from my neighborhood going there. And in the end, I was the only one still going. And it was tough because I was asking her for more money to take the bus. So I put on my shoes and ran. And it was a long distance, so I ran to get there. At one point, I wanted to give up, but I told myself that my mom made sacrifices for me, not to quit after a few months. I kept going, and it eventually paid off.
And when you look back on that period, how does it make you feel? Does it make you smile?
Yes, it makes me smile. I was talking about it with a buddy a few days ago, and we were talking about back in the day when we were young. I told him yes, it's true that it seems difficult when we talk about it today, but I think those were the happiest times of my life, when I was close to my family, when I was next to my mom, because from the age of 13, I left and I saw her about once a year. And up until today, it's still the same thing. My mom is my everything, so being away from her is tough. Even though I've started my own family now and I'm well and happy, it's still a sacrifice to leave, to go play soccer, and to be away more than at home and see my family a lot less. But when you know why you're doing it, it remains ultimately something thing.
When you're a professional soccer player, how do you manage being with your family, whom you love deeply, while also handling your sports career?
I think it's a matter of choice because just last season, before signing with the Angers football club, I had offers to go abroad to, quote unquote, make a bit more money. But I have a wife and 2 daughters. I can't see myself. I left home young without my family. I can't see myself starting a family and leaving without them either. I prefer to choose to stay with my family, to stay in France, and to have my family around me because that seems the most important to me, that balance. I didn't want to lose that balance. Everyone makes their own choice. Some people decide to make the sacrifice and say, I'm going to leave for a few years, and that will allow me to keep helping my family financially. For me, it's a matter of choice, and mine is to be with my family.
You say, when you know why you're actually doing it. Well, Joseph Lopy, today, can you tell us why you're doing it?
I'm going to tell you a little story first. At 12 years old, there were neighborhood walks, people coming to my place. Back then, it was tough. It was really tough. Sometimes we'd just manage to only eat once a day. So when people came with bags of rice, with jugs of oil, things I had never seen at home, which they gave to my grandfather, he was everything to me. His words were like the Bible to me. I was young, but yeah, to draw a parallel. And they told him, if I come to play in the neighborhood, all of this is for us. And he tells them, wait till he gets back. And when I arrived, he asked me. First, I looked at everything, then said yes. I'm going to go play. Deep down, I didn't want to. But seeing that in my head, it's that you'll be able to help your family. You can help your family, so do it. But he looks at me, he lets them leave. He tells me, well, and looks at me and asks me, you sure you're going to play with them? I'm like, I don't know. He tells me, I saw you weren't really into it. We'll give them their stuff back. They'll leave.
And those people, when I told them I wouldn't play, they were unhappy. They started teasing me, and I couldn't even say why. I look at them. I tell them one day you'll see me on TV. Like all the guys you watch on TV. I'm gonna be on TV.
And you're going to watch me. And they were laughing, they tell me, but you're here in your neighborhood way back there. I think someone will see you, someone will spot you. But I believed it. Those weren't just words that came out like that. I couldn't say why they came out, but I believed it at that moment when I said it. And when they left, I looked at my grandpa, feeling disappointed. I didn't see disappointment in his eyes. Instead, he was happy because I made a choice about what I wanted. He looks at me and I tell him, don't worry, Grandpa, when I'm 18, I'll play on TV like them and I'll give you my first paycheck. So, to give you an idea, today what it does for me, it gives me this pride to say that my family was struggling, and today, thanks to all these sacrifices, thanks to all this work, my little brothers who are in Senegal, they go to the best schools. My family is doing better. My family is doing well, so it's worth all the time in the world.
Joseph Lopy, you've been talking for a while about the parallels between the Bible and your grandfather's words. You also talk about faith. Earlier, when we greeted you, you said thanks to God, I'm doing well, etc. Does faith play an important role in your life?
Well, it does take the first place, it takes second, it takes third, it takes fourth, fifth, and so on and so forth. I'm at a loss for words to even talk about this, because from the start, I've always had faith. I've always had faith because my parents always took me to church ever since I was very little. Every Sunday, it was the ritual. The little suit jacket, it was the hello. It was the day when you even had a little bit. You got to have a coin to buy yourself a little something after church. So, growing up, I was, let's say, Catholic. So, yeah, my faith, that is to say, it started there. But growing up, it was even right here in Paris when I was playing that show back then. It also happened at a time when I was a little bit injured, when I was asking myself a lot of questions, when I tried to heal as much as possible with the doctors, with specialists, with a lot of people, but nothing was working. And there was even talk of me ending my career. So, when I had the chance to meet my sister during this crisis I'm speaking of, she took me to church, and in the church, I remember, it was Pastor Aka. When he spoke, everything he said resonated with me in a profound and meaningful way, and I felt like everything he said was meant for me. Really good, honestly. I received and welcomed the message as if it was personally addressed to me. And from that moment on, a lot of things changed in me. I know that when I got home, I talked about it with my wife, and even she was amazed to see me like that. She told me, this is the first time I've seen you talk with such passion. I was told, you were never amazed by anything. This is the first time I've seen you like this. You must be really moved. I told her, yes, for once. And I did everything to get her to come to church. And we started going to church together. And there you have it. Both of us embraced the path of Christ. We gave our lives to Christ. And from there on, I saw the before Joseph and the after Joseph. There's really no comparison.